Sorry for the interruption. Okay, so okay, where am I? Look, we were talking about this 4 data structures, right? So we will see one by one. So first we will take a list data structure. Okay, so what are the list? Okay, list data structure is a ordered data structure. You'll see what is this one by one. Okay, and changeable, and it will also allow duplicate values. Okay, so when I say the list or ordered, that means the items inside the list have a defined order. Okay, and that order will not change. Okay, if you add a extra item or a new item to a list, that new item will be placed at the end of the list. Okay, so that it doesn't affect the order of the other items in your list. Okay, and next, coming to the second point, changeable. Okay, the list is changeable, meaning like we can change or we can add, remove, update the items in the list once your list has been created. Okay, and allow duplicates, you know the meaning of this, like uh, since every item in the list has some particular index value, so that you it will allow you to have two same values at the same list. Okay, so let me show you some default functions. So these are the repeated functions that we are going to see in all the data structure. Only the syntax and how we will be doing that will change. So we will check for how to check the length of the data structure. Length means total how many items. And next one is how to check the data type and how to access the items in your data structure. Access in the sense how to print the items in my data structure. Okay, and we will see about how to add an item, how to remove an item, how to update a value. These are the common activities in all the data structure. So we will see the activities one by one. Okay. Just give me a minute, guys. 1 minute. Okay. Sorry, guys. So let's start with the one by one. So let's first see how to create a simple list in Python. First is list data structure. Okay, so let's see how to create a list. Okay, so list is something, let's say I am storing multiple values to the same variable, right? So how will you store it in a list? You have to use square bracket and every item will be separated by a comma. Okay, let's create a simple list. Let me create a list called fruits, and I will add some fruits. Since I am giving the inputs, every item in my list is a string here. As I said, you can a list can have multiple data types in the same. Like I can create one integer. I can have this as well, floating point. I can also have a boolean value as well. So a single list can store all the data types together at once. Okay, this is how you create a list. Now let me print the list. Yes, now I have printed the list here. It is printing all the items. Okay. Now, first, let's say I just want to create an empty list. How you will create? Just give empty square brackets and try to print empty list. So it will print the empty square bracket. The meaning of this is the list is created, okay, but it doesn't have any contents, it's empty, okay. And let's say how to check the total items in a list. I just want to check how many items are there in my list totally. So in that case, you can use the function len function. Len stands for length. Okay, this will tell you the total number of items in your list or whatever data structure you are using. So just six. That means there are totally 6 items in my list. Okay, and let's say I just want to check the data type of my list. I'll use the same type function which we have used before, and I'll give the list name. Let's see what data type it gives now. So it is showing the data type as itself list as like a common. As I said, it is a kind of mixed, right? So this whole thing belongs to a data type called list. Okay. And now coming to the next activity, how to access the items in your list. We will talk about a process called indexing. Let me open a quick Excel sheet. So we'll talk in the background how the items are stored in the list. Okay. So this is our list name, which is fruits. Okay. I hope this will be visible now. So this is our list name. And let me add some 5 contents. Let me have my first content as apple and some integer and some floating number and some boolean value, and let me add another one string. Now this is my list and I have 5 items in my list. Okay, so there is something called indexing. Okay, so every item in your list will be given one particular index number. So why we need this indexing? The first reason is when I try to print my list, it is printing all the items in my list, right? But every time you don't want to print all the items. Let's say I have 200 items. I don't want to print all the 200 items. Or let's say I want to do some particular action only on some particular item in my list or some particular range of my list. Let's say I want to apply some function only for the first 3 items. So in that case, how will you access a specific part of that particular list? That's why we use indexing. Indexing is a way, it's like a array like structure in which your items in the list have been stored. So indexing is of 2 types. One is positive indexing and the other one we call it as negative indexing. Okay, so positive indexing will start from 0. The number 0. I said every item will be given one number, index number. Okay. So this will have first item will have index value of 0, and index number you always have to mention it in square brackets, inside the square brackets only. Not for this is not only for list. Wherever you are using index number, and in the other data structures also we use this indexing concept. It is same for all data structure. Wherever you are using this indexing concept, the numbers will always be specified inside the square brackets. Okay, so if your list is having 5 items totally, your index number will be from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and negative indexing will not use that much, but there is also another way in which you can access the list. That's why I'm just telling you. So negative indexing will start from minus. It will not start from 0. It will start from -1. So whatever is your total length of the list, the same as the negative number as well, but it will start in reverse. That means the last item will have the first index number and the first item will have the last index number. So this is all about positive indexing, and this will stand for negative indexing. Okay, now we know what is the index number of this particular list. Let's say I want to print only this integer 2344. How will I print only that particular item? I'll give print and I'll give the list number and the index number corresponding. Either you can give this or you can give -4 also. Either way it will work. So list followed by that particular index number will give you that particular access to the item. Let's say we have apple, banana, cherry. I want to print only cherry 0, 1, 2. I'll give print fruits 2. So now you can see only it is indexing is mainly used to access a particular item. Okay. Now I'll use a for loop for I in range. Okay, not in range. I'll give fruits. And I'll give print I. So this will print every item in my list. Okay, print I have to use brackets. So every item in my list will be printed in a 1 by 1 manner. Okay, if I want to print the last item, I can give -1 here alone. This will print the last item of your list. This is like printing using negative indexing. And let's say I want to print some particular range to range. Let's say I want to print from banana to the 3.456. In that case, what you can do is you can also specify the index number in range. So remove this. What is the banana starting index range? 0, 1, 2. So the starting index range will be 2. Give a colon. And ending, I just want to print from banana to 3.456. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the index number of that particular floating number, right? So in that case, you have to give one extra number. Okay. Whenever we talk about range, even if we are not using the range function, you have to always give one extra number. Like if you give only 5, it will print up to only 4th index number. So if you want to print the 5th index number, you want to give one extra, which is 6. Now when I run it, it will print up to 0, 1, 2. It is starting from 2. Let me try it one more time. 2:5. Let me try. Okay, sorry. The bananas index number is actually 1. So this is our list. I was wrongly reading as this is the whole list because cherry is the output of some other item. So here, starting from here, bananas index item is 1. So I want to print from 1 to 2, 3, 4. So I'll just give 5. So I will give 1:5, which will print from this item to this item. Okay. So let's say I want to print from the very start till let's say to the 4th index number. So if I want to start from the first, I will not give any index number. So if you don't give any starting range, obviously it will start from the very first. Okay. And the same will be applied here. If you don't give the ending range, let's say I'll give 2 colon, that means from the second index number, which is cherry, to the end of your list, it will print all. Okay. And let me try one more example with negative indexing. Let's say I want to print from -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay. I want to print the last item. If I give -4, it will print only up to -3. Okay, so sorry, not -4 concept. If I give -1, it will print only till -2 index number. This is the starting range and this will be the ending range. Whatever ending range you have given, one number less than, it will print. Okay. Now even here also, if I don't give the ending range, it will print till the last. The same concept is applied. Now let's say I want to print or the whole list in reverse order. So in that case, you can use colon colon. Okay, if I just give colon like this, I am not entering any starting range or ending range. Okay, so this will print the whole list. So I'm adding one more colon and giving -1. So this is my third input I am giving. So what is the meaning is, print the whole list, but start from the negative index. That means the first item will be the -1 index number. So the last item will be printed first. Now can you see the whole list is reversed? Okay. And let's say one more example. I'll just give like 2. That means what is the meaning of this is, it will like skip every second item of your list. So apple will print, banana will be skipped, cherry will be printed, and this number 1 will be skipped. So it will print every second item of your list. Okay. And till now, any doubts in this indexing concept, guys? Okay, let me go with the another one concept, which is called using the loops in list, like loop to a list. How to use this for loop in this kind of data structure, which is list. Okay. Now let's say you can loop through using normal formal loop. Let's say we have a loop. We already have a fruits list, right? I'll try for I in list name, which is fruits. I'll just give print I. So it will print every item in your list one by one. Okay. And let's see how to use print the items along with the like index number, or using the index number. Okay. In that case, let me print for I in, I'm using the range function here, and the range I'm giving as len of my list. That is, length of my list is the range. So I have total 6 item. My range will be 6. So I just give only 6 in the range function, means it will print from 0 to 5. So which is nothing but our index numbers, right? So I value will be replaced from 0 to 5. So you cannot directly print I. So you have to give fruits, then square bracket of I. So if you give like this, fruits square bracket 0 means 0th index number will be printed. 1 means the item belong to 1 index number will be printed. So till it will follow from 0 to 5. So this is also one way which you can print the items of the list referring to their index number. Okay. Let's say I want to print the item as well as its index number. So I'll just give I, comma, fruits of I in the same. So it will print the item along with the index number of that item. Okay. And now let's see some basic inbuilt functions inside the list. For example, how to add an item or remove an item, those kind of things. Okay. Any questions or doubts? Please let me know. Yeah, that's what I'm going through now. How to append a new value. Okay, those are the basic activities of all the data structure which we'll be seeing now. So we already have a list and we want to append some item. Okay. So for this we use the function called append function. There are two ways in which you can use, either you can use append or insert function. First function which we will see is append function. Okay, so the append function, what it will do, add an item end of list. Okay, it will always add the item at the end of the list, and it will add only one item at a time. Let's say we use the same fruits list. I want to add some particular item, so I'll just give the list name fruits dot function. So these are the inbuilt function which you can use in your list. Append, and within bracket the item which you want to add. If you want to add a integer, just give it without quotation. If you are adding a string, just give like this. Okay, this will be added at the end. Now let me print the list. So our list is added with orange. Okay, now let's say I don't want to add it at the end. Like if I, what will happen if I run this code for 2 times? 2 items will be added, or 2 oranges will be added in the same list, because it allows duplicate. Okay, now I don't want to add it at the end. I want to insert a new item at the specific index. In that case, you can use insert method. Okay, so to the same list, you'll just give fruits dot the method name insert. Within bracket, can you see there are 2 things? One is what index you are going to add, and what is the item that you want to add. Let's say I want to add it at the first index number, and I want to add the fruit name kiwi. Okay, so whatever is in the first index number will be skipped towards its right hand side. That means it will become the second index number. It will not update. Please make sure this is not going to remove the old value and update the new value. This will just insert it in the middle. So the old banana, what banana is the index number 1, right? That will become index number 2, and all other items will be changed index numbers. Now let me print. So kiwi is now inserted in the middle, and all other items are skipped towards. So these are the 2 methods in which you can add items. Okay, and one more thing is there is one more thing in you can insert also. It's not the direct way. It's like a, it's the way. It's like extend method. Okay, to what you can do is this is a method in which you can join 2 lists. That way also you can add item to a list. Let's say we already have fruits, right? And let me create one more list called veggies. Add some numbers. Okay, now we have 2 lists. So what I will do is I'll give fruits dot extend function. Within bracket I will give a list name. Now let me print the fruits. So you can see here our new list is having a combined elements of both the fruits list and veg list. Okay, so these are the 3 methods in which you can add the list, like add the item to a list, like append function.
One question.
Yes.
Initially, when you appended a new item, so why didn't it show before inserting? Actually, when you inserted it, ideally it should have shown it right at the end.
Oh no, it should show before inserting.
Yeah, I mean, you executed the append command before the insert, right? So whatever new item we added, it should have already been there. I think you added it twice. The orange, there was a duplicate in that list,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
then when you inserted kiwi at the first index, so in that list, there is only like one
One
orange.
orange. Okay, so
Why?
when I am running this command, right, when I click on this button, what will happen? Python will start it from the first. So the list will be again created. It is not a continuous program which I have defined inside a function. These are like just separate codes, right? So at the time I added this, written this function 2 times. Let me copy this and I run this. Okay, so I have appended orange 2 times. Now when I run this code, I will get 2 oranges in my list, right? Am I right? So now what I did while explaining at the previous time, I made this as a comment. So now when I click on this run button, all the things list will be created newly, and all the functions which I have not commented only will work. So we will get a new list, not the same list with 2 oranges. Now we will get a fresh list which is have only one append of orange, because I have made it as a comment. And when I run it again, it will create a list. It will run the append function, it will run insert function, and it will do only extend function.
So basically,
Like
it is
another
resetting to the original
yes,
list
every
value.
time you run, it will reset, because this is not a function or a block of code which will be like a continuation. It is just a separate codes where every time you run, it will start from the first only.
Okay. So I mean, just in case if we don't want to get it reset, so should we not uncomment it, or is there any other way?
Yeah, you don't want to reset, you don't like uncomment.
Okay.
So if you want to, like, you want the continuation of the code to be happen, you write it inside a block of code like a main function or function creation. That is function creation that
Okay.
we will deal with later activities.
Okay. So these are like just standalone statements and queries we are
Yes,
executing.
yes, like one
Okay.
line statements.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, so these are the 3 ways in which you can insert or let's say append the items. Now let's saw the next activities. Let's say how to remove the items from our list. Okay, so there are some few methods. You can use a remove method, which will remove the item or specified item. You want to give which item you want to remove as the input. Okay, and there is one more thing called pop function. Okay, it will remove by using index number. Remove method will remove by using the item name. Pop function will remove using index number. Now we have the same fruits. Let me print the fruit list. So now this is only printing the original list. Why? Because I have commented every line except the fruit. So whatever I have created as one line fruits which at the top, that is the only printing. So whatever we have done till now is not applied in that particular list. Okay. So now we have a list. Let's say I want to remove banana from that list. Same, which is our list name dot remove method, and within bracket, so you have to print the value which you want to remove. So this is one method. And next, let me give fruits dot pop. So here you have to provide the index value. So after removing banana only, I am applying the pop. So after removing banana, the value of the cherry, the index number of cherry will become 1, right? Apple will be 0, cherry will be 1. So I want to remove cherry. So I'm giving 1 here. So now let me print it. So I hope after removing, both the banana and cherry has been removed. Okay. And if you don't give anything in your pop function, okay, I am not specifying any index number in the pop function. By default, it will remove the last item. So this is true will be removed now. See, if you specify some index number, it will remove that particular item. If not, by default, the pop function will remove the last item in your list. Okay, and there is one more method also which you can do this. There is a keyword called del. Okay, you can also remove it like this. Let's say I'll give del and list name. I can use like this index number 3. So this is our current list. So 0, 1, 2, 3. That number 1 will be removed. So I have to print the list after removing. So now 1 is removed in the list. Okay. And let's say how to delete the entire list. Or before deleting, I'll go for a clear method. So this clear method, what it will do is just give fruits dot clear. It will just wipe out the contents of the list. It will not delete the list. It will remove the items inside your list, thus making it as an empty list. Let me print it. So previously our list was like this, and after applying the clear method, it has removed everything in your list. But still, your list is there. It is an empty list. If I want to, let's say, delete the entire list, I can use del method and just the list name. So if you give index number, it will remove only that particular. If you give only the list name, it will delete the entire list. Now, when I try to print fruits, which is a list name, after deleting the list, it will throw error like the fruits is not defined, because we have removed the entire list. Okay. So these are the basic operations in a data structure. Add an item, how to access the item. You can access the item using index number, how to append the item, how to delete item, and let's see how to update the item. So updating the item is pretty simple. Like uh, let's say I want to change the value. Let me print the list first. So we have a list, and let's say I want to update this banana to some other pomegranate or some fruit. I'm not inserting. That means I'm not shifting. I'm just overwriting the value. So give the index number fruits, and for banana it is 1, and give the new value. Let's say boom. So if you give like this, whatever the old value is in that list will be updated with this new value. Now let me run the list. Now banana is replaced with the pomegranate. So this is how you update the value. So these are the basic operations, or like data operations, which will be carried out in all the data structures commonly. Okay. And any questions?
Can we have list inside list?
Yeah, you can also list also can be a member of the list. Let's say I want to this is a fruits dot, I'll use the append function to add a single list. Okay, so I have added 3 items inside this list, but this is one list, right? One item which I will be able to add. So I'll just give print fruits. So now the last item of our list is a list. If you want to print the last item, you will give either -1 or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will work. But what if I want to print only the second item of the list inside my list? So give the index number of that list first, and then give another one square bracket. For this list, what is the index number of 2, which is 1. Now when you run it, you will be able to print the inner items of your list, like the nested list item. Okay.
Okay.
And what will happen if you like try to add 2 lists? Let's try. We have a list called fruits, or let me create a new one. This is kind of too long. I have L1, which is 4 items, and I have L2, which is 6, and now I'm trying to create L3 by adding L1 plus L2. Okay, this is the addition operator, but I'm using it to a list. Let me print L3. What happens? We'll just combine both the list. Okay, so this addition operator will be joining the items of your list. Okay, this is like another way to join the list. You can also append by using this method also. Okay, and either you can use the if you don't want this, you can use a for loop to append also. I'll just put a comment over here. Now I have 2 lists. I want to append the items of the list 2 to list 1. So I'll just give for every item in list 2. I want to append it to L1. So L1 dot append within bracket I. So every item in the list 2 will be appended in list 1. Now come out of the loop and print L1. It will give you the same output. Okay, any question? This is all that for a list. Yeah, we have another one concept which is called list comprehension. Let me cover that as well so that we can complete one data structure at a time. So what is a list comprehension means? It's a easiest way you can create a complex list, that is called as list comprehension. Okay, I will show you with the example. Okay, for this is let me create, I'll create L1 list. Okay, so what I will do is let me create an empty list. Okay, for I in L1. Okay, okay, not I, let me add a word, let it be human, and some big word, geometry. Okay, what I am trying to do here is I am going to add every single character in this geometry, and I am going to add it as a separate item in my list. So L1 dot append function we will use, within bracket we will give I, and again we'll come out of the letter and print L1. So now every item will be added separately. Okay, so this has took how many lines for us? 4 lines of code. Let's say I can create the same list just in one line using list comprehension method. Okay, so the syntax for list comprehension method is, so expression in range, or if you want to give the list name, whatever is it. Okay, so this is actually the syntax. Expression for item in instead of range, list will be good. Okay, so here you have to write the expression what you need to do, and for every item in that list. Okay, so now let's do the same output in one line. Instead of this, what I will do is L1 equal to, okay, what is the meaning of this line is add I to this particular list for every item in geometry. So whatever I it is will be replaced with every other letter. So this expression, whatever is here, it will be added to the L1, that is our list. Now let me print this L1. So you can see the same output, but which we created in just one line of code. Okay, this is like, let me show you some more examples of list comprehension. So it will be like easy for you. Okay, can someone tell me? Okay, can someone write a code and put it in the chat box? Okay, use a for loop. You can use a range function also from 1 to 10 numbers. Okay, I just want to create a list. Okay, and that list should have only even numbers from 1 to 10. You can use a for loop, you can use anything, but write the code and try to put it in the chat box.